Hello everyone, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we are now in game number 2 of a series between Happy and Lin. Not a series, these guys are just playing on the NetEase servers, and well, luckily I get to cast these games. Alright, what's going to be happening here in another Undead versus Orc matchup? Lin spawning as the blue Orc over here. Meanwhile, Happy spawning as the red Undead on the bottom right. This is Terranistan as we quickly get to the 2-minute mark to get this game underway. Alright, let's go ahead, slow it down. There we are, 2-minute mark. Death Knight already out, indicating that it is going to be an opening with ghouls. Graveyard just now placed down, and Terranistan is a map that is a bit larger and allows players to just try and creep out the map in a much faster scenario. You can take a look. Death Knight here just finishing off the apprentice wizards here, gonna use that rod of necromancy to get those additional units, and what this will allow him to do is keep these ghouls on lumber longer, allowing him to tech to tier 2 faster. You can see that's exactly what he did right here, teching to tier 2 extremely quickly at the 2-minute 40-second mark, and well, keeping pace with the Orc, who also delayed his Orc burrow. Alright, let's see what's going to be happening next. More ziggurats are going to be added, more ghouls could be added here in just a moment, as the Death Knight gonna finish off this last renegade wizard. He wants to make sure he backs off. No, ends up getting a death coil off instead. And you may be wondering, why did he use the death coil? He may have suspected that the Blade Master was nearby, but more importantly, he wanted to make sure the lightning shield wasn't the spell or the attack that actually killed that apprentice or renegade wizard. If it did, he would not have gotten the gold or the experience on that, and he'd still be sitting at level 1. Skeletal minions now wandering about out across over here. Well, that skeleton minion taken down as the Blade Master going to go ahead and wind walk, and you can see him just wandering about right now. I'm going to switch to his point of view just so I can keep track of him on the minimap. Death Knight wandering around. This is not a good spot for the skeletal minions to try and creep out. You can take a look at that. That assassin was already taken down there. Well, if it's just a handful of level 1 minions, it is very easy to take out, and that's what these skeletal minions will be doing. Death Knight still wandering around, does have a fair number of attack items. Claws of Attack +6, Gloves of Haste, and Circuit of Nobility are all extremely helpful. Meanwhile, the Blade Master finishing off the Kobold Tunneler to the south to get that last bit of experience, get to level 2, and perhaps get a useful item after he finishes off the remaining units. Most likely healing salve himself there. After he heal himself, he'll pick up that Cloak of Shadows and then move along his merry way. Skeletal minions finishing off the last of the apprentice wizards back there. Death Knight realizes that the Blade Master is in fact nearby, hence by the death of a handful of creeps. And this is one of those things that you are just constantly aware of as a high-level Warcraft 3 player. You can click on your opponent's unit and the majority of the time know what has happened, what creep camps he has crept out, and based upon the positioning, know what is still available. Death Knight now wandering back down to the south. Blade Master may try and put some pressure here while creeping is going on. No, the Death Knight not really going after that Goblin Merchant shop. Instead, looking to see where he can go next. There is a little bit of damage. Death Knight now going after the Crypt Fiends. Death Knight still wandering back here. Still has a good amount of mana and experience. Not quite sure what he's looking to do as the Grunts are clearing out some creep camps. Alright, Death Knight here, ready to go, picking up some items. Has a Ring of Protection +2, 5 armor. Meanwhile, back down to the south, Blade Master sells the Cloak of Shadows, doesn't really need it, and heads back off to the north. Tauren Chieftain is actually the second hero this time around, and it will be the Shadow Hunter as the third hero, as we are going to be going into Tier 3. Tier 3 does allow for that Orb of Lightning to be purchased, really slowing things down. Essentially, it roots any unit for quite some time. It doesn't stop any channeling abilities, but it does freeze that unit in place, making it very difficult to try and escape. And well, once you're standing still next to a Blade Master who's hitting you, your days are pretty much numbered. Lich now making its way down south. Multiple Crypt Fiends here, ready to go. Where are all of these units going to be going next? Grunt now going to be heading off to the north. We'll see what's going to be happening here as the Death Knight and Lich going to be ready to go and engage. Sasquatch taking a bit of damage. Forest Trolls now all taken down. So what is going to be happening here? What items will be dropped? As well, I am a bit tired. I do apologize. As we're looking at a Sasquatch getting it taken out here in just a moment. Now, so far, no sides are really doing any sort of heavy establishment on their bases. It looks like both sides are content to sitting on 1v1 base, and now Undead really wants to get some sort of hero level advantage with the Death Knight and the Lich. Death Knight and the Lich, Lich even at level 1 is very effective in this matchup because of that frost armor. Blade Master needs to perhaps get to level 3, maybe even level 4 for level 2 critical strike and level 2 windwalk, and that will help tremendously. Meanwhile, the Death Knight now making its way over. Mud Golems now all getting added. Kobold Taskmasters here ready to go. Lich does not have an Orb of Corruption as of yet, as we are just now getting up to Black Citadel. Now, we also didn't see that many destroyers in the last game, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that his opponent was already getting the upgrades for these orc burrows. We'll see if that is going to continue to be the case. Yes, reinforced defenses, giving fortified armor, making piercing damage and magic damage fairly ineffective against those buildings. With that in place, the Undead really needed to stick around in a fight that it didn't want to be in for much longer, allowing the Orc to try and regroup. However, the regroup did not work in game number 1, and we'll see if it works here in game number 2, as we are getting the Bestiary up, and it is only a single Bestiary, no Spirit Lodge. Blade Master sitting at level 3, Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 2, Shadow Hunter is currently nowhere to be found. Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3 dropped, most likely for the Tauren Chieftain, getting in a little bit of extra damage as the Blade Master and Tauren Chieftain go to town, finishing off this creep camp. Blade Master hands over both Mantles of Intelligence to the Tauren Chieftain. I wouldn't be surprised if the Tauren Chieftain gave the Potion of Invulnerability to the Blade Master, but then again, the Tauren Chieftain is often a frontline hero anyways. Death Knight wandering around, selling some items, picking up Potion of Lesser Invulnerability and another Dust of Appearance to keep track of his opponent. Tauren Chieftain gonna finish off this creep camp, picks up a Gloves of Haste, or will be able to pick up a Gloves of Haste when the time comes. Where is that Blade Master? Blade Master can he use it? Yes, he can. He has another slot. He will be able to attack that much faster and be that much more efficient, taking down units and getting that getting that critical strike to proc. Back down to the south, Altar of Storms still shows Blade Master down across here, Tauren Chieftain and a Shadow Hunter, the full orc trifecta to try and fight back the Undead Scourge. Death Knight, Lich, level 3, level 2, off here, ready to go. Banshees now being trained for that all-important curse. Now, the big issue is if you don't go for Spirit Walkers, your opponent can easily go for the casters and then get curse across all of your units, making them much more inefficient, as they won't be able to deal their full potential damage. All right, Banshees, 19 to 13 damage. Let's see what's going to be happening next. There's a little bit of damage there. All right, Orb of Corruption, negative 4.4 armor. Taking down. Damage reduction is only at 9% compared to a, 40%? No, 29% at 6.6. All right, Renegade Wizard going to get finished off over here. Tome of Strength +2. Shadow Hunter is very much nearby. Shadow Hunter picking up the Tome of Strength +2, now up to 575. Meanwhile, Death Knight still wandering around here. Where is it going to possibly go next, and who is it going to try and put pressure on the takeout? Dark Ranger, a really strong unit as a third hero, as what those skeletal minions can end up becoming a problem. All right, let's get back to the 12 o'clock position. Let's see where we're going to be going next. Dark Ranger is here, ready to go. Scroll of Protection is here. And with that Scroll of Protection, additional 12% effective hit points across all of the units. As the Banshee looks to turn back around and engage here. Death Knight now going to go ahead and Death Coil finish off this Kodo Beast. Kodo Beast is already down to 408 hit points as the Blade Master going after some Crypt Fiends. Death Knight is going to be able to save that Crypt Fiend. Yes, it will. Saves it in time as we're still looking at a handful of Raiders which may get taken out. All right, there's another Death Coil save. The Blade Master unable to finish off the units. Dark Rangers and other units are also getting focused down rather quickly as we see a bit of an escape right here. Banshee is in the backfield causing some problems. However, we're going to be looking at a very strong turnaround here in just a moment. The Death Knight and the Undead Army is going to be able to get some big kills here in just a moment. Will it be able to finish off this low hit point Grunt? It looks like it wasn't even trying to. Nope, it is trying to, and he does get his man. Scroll of Town Portal. Oh, Blade Master burrows in time, but still unable to do very much, as even though it did miss 3 out of the 4 attacks, it still get taken down by the last one. (43/60) supply compared to 46/60. We are pretty much neck and neck at this stage. Who has the stronger economy? Who has the stronger tech? That is the big question, as we are at both Fortress and Black Citadel on both sides. I don't see that many tier 3 units, but perhaps Obsidian Statues versus Destroyers, Obsidian Statue and Destroyers versus the Hippogriffs just wouldn't stand to be a very good chance. Blade Master now heading back off to the north. Where is it going to be going next? Trying to regroup and just get back together here. Obsidian Statue. 1, 2, 3 Obsidian Statues here ready to go. Crypt Fiends are not upgraded yet. Will they become upgraded? The Graveyard is showing not anytime soon, as we do have an expansion in play by the Orc. All right, Tome of Intelligence. Who will it be picked up by? Tauren Chieftain or Shadow Hunter? Meanwhile, the expansion is now going to be under pressure here in just a second. This could potentially become a problem, as units will be heading back in from the north. Is the item picked up? No, it is not. They must be discussing who's going to be reading this book when, well, someone should be reading, as the Lich arrives to the party, invites himself in, closes all the doors, and is now enjoying all these little peons. All right, peons getting pressured. Great Hall down to what, 1200 hit points, down to 1150, 1130. This is not looking good whatsoever. Meanwhile, back off to the north, what is happening next? Tauren Chieftain needs to get back over there, and in order to save this expansion, he needs to at least try and defend it, or is it not worth saving any longer? Death Knight, Dust of Appearance, all here ready to go. Blade Master trying to hold his appearance back to try and finish off all these units. Blade Master simply runs on through, gets spotted by a Sentry Ward, but still made it through alive.
Ready to ride.
Dark Ranger here ready to go. Crypt Fiend's going to be here ready to go. Do we have the Black Sacrificial Skull? I do not think so. Not this time around. Straight up fight outside the Orc base. Speed Scroll now being used. Blade Master trying to take down the Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger is just hiding in the backfield as a big stomp now comes across in once again. Obsidian Statues dealing a fair bit of damage. Are we going to perhaps take down some of these, take down some of the key units? The Lich and the Death Knight, the two biggest priorities, as the Lich, gets Death Coiled. Is it going to end up getting saved? No, it is not. Death Coil was a second late, and Happy must be sad knowing how quickly he was to saving that Lich. Healing Wave still ready to go here. Tauren Chieftain wandering around back and forth. You can see Curse of Oblivion, or a curse still over the heads of some of these units, which will cause them to miss. Meanwhile, back off to the north, level 3 level 1, level 3, I believe. All right, currently cannot find the additional. There it is.
Work complete. We're under attack.
Blade Master going after the Lich. Lich taking a lot of damage, but just simply going to shake it off, head back off to the north, use that Obsidian Statue to regenerate all of that mana now, as the Raiders seem to be ready to go. Blade Master going to go ahead and engage here in just a moment. As the expansion is still operational, even though there's only one peon. Tauren Chieftain dives right on in with a big stomp. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Death Knight still surrounded. Raiders coming across, surrounding more units. Tauren Chieftain with a big stomp in the middle. Crypt Fiend's now getting taken down. It does not look like Happy will be able to take it out. Another stomp comes into play. Tauren Chieftain will be able to back off once again. As there is just simply too much missing going on between all of these curses. Lynn taking game number 2. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.